Hi, and welcome to This Week in Baltimore Eating with Richard Gorelick. Join us here every Thursday at 12:30 to talk about everything food-related in Baltimore. I am Amanda. This is Sir Gorelick. My Valentine.
Oh, we're
Thank
Valentines.
you. We are Valentines, right? I just decided you'll be mine.
And
I mean, you're stuck in here with me. What else are we gonna do with this 15 minutes?
I'm honored.
So thank you for coming in to celebrate with me. Yay!
Yeah, happy
yay.
Valentine's Day, everybody. We'll be talking
Look,
about that.
I even put got a little heartbeat for you. Boom, boom.
Oh,
boom,
I
boom.
see it now.
See my heart? See my heart?
It's hard to see the
I
heart.
got a heart in my sleeve for you, Richard.
You said you were low energy today.
Oh, I forgot.
I did. She said she was going to be a little bit low energy.
You take over.
I think she needs a shot.
A shot of what?
I don't know.
A Cupid's arrow is what I need. What are you doing tonight? Speaking of Cupid.
I'm going to an early dinner at the Peppermill. Going to get some Shad Roe.
So great. What? Okay, so I always see the sign when I drive by because we're sign watchers for the Peppermill. Like,
Right.
this is where we get our information. And apparently Shad Roe is running.
Shad Roe is running. Shad Roe is a harbinger of spring. Shad Roe is one
Oh.
of like ramps and robins.
Shad Roe.
And Shad Roe. Shad Roe comes in the spring to the East Coast. It comes later to the West Coast. It's roe. Shad Roe is like an egg sack.
So it's not like the nicest.
It's a delicacy.
Right, but I mean, are you scraping it out of the fish? Like, what's happening with the fish there? They're not leaving a little trail.
No,
roe.
it's laid as a sack. So it's the roe itself is intact in a sack.
So you can just go collect the sacks, like foraging for mushrooms, but you're foraging.
Yeah.
Are these the orange the juicy ones?
The roe itself are puffy, but it's all again like held within a sack, and the sack is friable. You fry it up.
Oh, that's how you eat that?
Mhm, yeah.
Do you put it on stuff? What do you do
We'll
with
talk
it?
more about it next week. No,
When
you eat it
after-
as a
I think I just kicked you.
with a knife and a fork.
Is that you?
You
I'm kicking you?
you cut the knife.
Playing footsies, you guys.
The sack is intact, and you fry the sack, and inside the sack is the roe.
And then it bursts in your mouth? I
wouldn't say it
guess
bursts.
I have never eaten Shad Roe.
Google it, everybody.
Everybody Google it.
We'll post photographs tonight. But
So-
early dinner at the Peppermill, which has a reputation, a comic reputation for being a restaurant patronized by
Sorry.
older people, and I'm putting an injunction. I'm going to enjoin jokes about how old the patrons are at the Peppermill. The jokes themselves are old and stale.
Yeah, it's like we know this already.
We know.
But we love it. Like, we are big fans of the Peppermill. That is not it. We're not being ironic
No,
or hipster.
I might get liver
right?
and onions tonight, too.
And also, that's a thing that we share in common, that we actually both like liver and
Not everyone
onions.
likes liver and onions.
A lot of
So,
people don't. I don't even
I'm
eat
excited
anymore,
about.
but I like liver and
First of all, I
onions.
love eating at 4:30 because then you get to you get to relax for the rest of the night.
Oh, my God.
There was something in the Times I think about how good it is to eat at
Early.
5:30.
Well, you
Yeah.
are supposed to be done with all your food before.
You really-
at
for your health,
by
you're
8,
supposed to
you
be
should
done.
I'm never good at that, but you should not be eating anything after because you're just gonna go to bed and it's just gonna sit there on you
gonna
and
sit
it's
there.
nowhere to go.
It's not. So that's what I'm doing Valentine's Day with my buddy.
Okay.
What are you doing?
If I tell you, do you promise not to throw me a pity party?
Never a pity party.
Just like no more jokes about the old people at Peppermill. We're not gonna tell any jokes about what Amanda's doing tonight.
Fair enough.
Okay, Mixolo is getting a group table at Golden West.
See, I think it's a great idea.
You
Tell
do?
people what Mixolo is. Mixolo. Mixolo.
Correct. Was that you
people what
being
it is.
really spicy? Mixolo. So anyway,
Well, if I'm listening to the radio, sometimes people will say terms, but I don't know what the terms
I know.
are, so I'd like to look them up.
And you're
So-
right. Like, I assume in my head that I talk about them all the time, but somebody didn't necessarily
So
know
tell
that.
people what Mixolo is.
Mixolo is an app for going out solo because you don't want the stigma attached. So they go do a bunch of different events all over town, and it's a group of solo people. It's not about dating. It's not about singles. It's just like you might want to go to the theater and don't really want to go alone. So last week I went with them to Center Stage to see Fun Home because
Oh,
I
wow.
wanted to see Fun Home, but I didn't really want to be by myself. And
You didn't want to go
Carol-
alone. You don't want to go on a date. You really didn't want to drag a friend who's going to be a drag. Because some friends are drags.
Some friends are drags. Like most of the time, I do go to the movies by myself just because it lets me be in my head and care about what I think. I have one really good friend, Monique. You know Monique, but she'll go to the movies with me. We don't agree on the movies, but we can do movies together. But for the theater, I knew I wanted to go see that show, and I knew they were going, so I went with them. So tonight, did I have plans? No, I didn't have any plans. So they are going to Golden West. They're doing, like, there's a drink and a dessert, and then you just order what you want. But they're trying to celebrate Vegan Restaurant Week, which is one reason they're going to Golden West. I probably am going to skip the vegan because I like food.
Right. But Golden West does have a good vegan menu. You could get a lot there. So that's a great idea.
What I'm doing. So if anyone
And
else is
for
alone,
how many people are coming?
last I heard there were definitely 6, but that was even before I had signed up. So maybe it's up to 8.
I think it sounds like a great idea.
And actually, I do know Golden West's gonna do like a whole event afterwards, like later, like around 9. And I think they're doing like a speed dating thing and stuff.
And Mixolo is an app.
Mixolo is an app, and you can find out more information. I think it's mixolo.io. Because they're forward thinking like that. We're so .coms are so last decade. So while you were out, because I haven't seen you in forever ever.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago we interviewed Tony Foreman here, and last week you did what?
I had Hoopete, and
Our
you
friend
missed
Hoopete.
her aphrodisiac treats. It was sexy and beautiful. So she's
did miss
amazing. Hoopete, you love Hoopete. I mean,
Yeah.
she's been on with both of us individually. She makes like very like Tunisian inspired or Israeli inspired recipes, and she made us desserts. And one was like a chocolate, like a confection, and it had like 8 different varieties of aphrodisiacs on it, and it's stuff you wouldn't think of. But she looked it all up. So like pumpkin seeds, figs are obvious, but stuff like just things that you would have never, dried fruits. I think, I don't remember.
So people can look at that.
The recipe's up online.
Sorry.
And that was great. Okay, so obviously it's Valentine's Day. I got my heart on. I got my Valentine here in the studio.
No,
with me.
Honestly, Amanda
What?
said before we started that she was going to be low energy. She'd said
this
that.
This is me at like, this is, you know what, like this is probably me at low energy.
I feel like
Do you want to take over? I can just sit
I just
here.
feel like someone might be pumping a gas into the studio. Like she's.
We
I
would
remember
think that,
when we just
except you're not
like
bouncing.
she's out of control. I'm not. Well, it's like
I did-
medicine.
I
Like
said- I
that's
did-
why you don't take other people's medicine. It affects different people
That's
differently.
so true. I've had
So
that
whatever
experience.
gas they're pumping in here is not affecting me. It's affecting.
No, but I did. I
Amanda.
said, Richard, please, you be the one today with the spice. You do it. But then I did say,
That was a
however, no, I said, however,
Yeah.
I tend to just turn on
when the light goes on, she's a star. She's a star, and that's how stars are. Until the light goes on.
All right.
What are we talking about? If you
It's
can't get a
Valentine's Day.
table in a restaurant, where should people go? Do you have any
Yes.
ideas, Amanda?
No, but do I? I would try things like Helmond or Tapas Teatro, but I don't know if you're getting in there.
Yeah. I think that's Helmond. I think is
Probably booked, right? I love it in there. I think that's super
Tapas
romantic.
doesn't take reservations, but
But
it's going to be
it's be packed if you do a dinner and a movie.
Dylan's
Oyster Bar I would love because I love me some oysters. Speaking of aphrodisiacs,
I had some ideas.
okay, go ahead. You tell
If
you tell us.
That depends on the people that you love. But if you love someone who loves Korean food and isn't a fancy person, because some people like fancy for Valentine's Day. But if you're lucky enough to have fallen in love and have been loved back by someone who doesn't care about trappings, I'd go for Korean food, like Korean barbecue.
You should, and I hope that you do fall in love with someone who doesn't care about trappings. That's key right there.
It is.
I think that's the
For men and for women. Let's not.
Don't love someone who cares about trappings. That seems like a lot of work. I feel like they'd be high maintenance.
Yeah.
This just became a love advice show. Look at that. So which ones do you say? You said Korean.
I'd go to those restaurants on 21st Street.
Namkang.
Namkang's on the other, Maryland, and then Yongkok.
Right. That's my favorite named restaurant in town. And then, obviously, if you're a knight in shining armor type, you probably already made reservations at places at, like, the Bygone and Topside. How about Peter's Inn? Any chance getting in there?
I would say, Peter's Inn is first come, first serve still, I think.
Still not.
Maybe they've
It's so
changed
hard
that.
to get anywhere. This is why you really shouldn't even be going out tonight.
No, but I think people did make reservations, and a lot of people, you know what a lot of people do?
No.
They cook. They cook at home. They cook a
They do.
dinner for themselves.
I like a good lobster dinner.
They get
I
steak
find that
and shrimp.
romantic.
I'm
Here's
a-
my thing about the whole, like, making a nice prime rib or a steak or a meat. Isn't that a lot of heavy if you're going to be getting all... all frisky.
Gee, I don't know.
I feel like it would be, but that's always like the traditional thing. Everyone's like, "Oh, have a nice big porterhouse."
So Amanda's question is:
Where is
does
everyone? Why aren't they
a high
telling
caloric,
me?
high protein meal impede
Sexy
sexual
time.
performance
or that.
or sexual enjoyment?
Yes.
That was what you're asking.
That is absolutely what I'm asking. Somebody
Yeah.
should get on here and
It would
tell
frankly
me.
put me to sleep.
Right, exactly. I'd be even wine though. Like I can have like a glass of wine. Other than that, the night's over.
I can't finish a glass of wine.
Hauser is here. Hello, Hauser. He says we wait until a week or two later. You're gonna
That's
cook for
smart.
yourselves a nice dinner tonight. What are you making, Hauser? Tell us the menu. While we wait for Hauser to tell us his menu, you tell me where you've eaten since I haven't seen you in 2 weeks.
You know, I went to Orto, the follow-up to Bottega,
Aha.
on my block, and there's a lot of overlap.
Mm-hmm.
So people that love Bottega will recognize aspects of it at Orto. It's a 1700 block of Charles Street.
Okay.
But it's different enough so that a little bit lighter than Bottega, but about the same size menu. About 6 appetizers at any given time, 8 or 10
Is there a lot of meat
entrees.
things?
Yeah, a lot of meat
Yeah.
still.
Yeah, because I think that's why I never went to Bottega, because I don't think I had enough options.
And didn't look at the menu closely enough to tell you whether you have more options here, but a little bit lighter.
Okay.
I know friends that went there and said, "Oh, they haven't touched the decor," but that's just an illusion because they have touched it.
They touched it.
People, it's different now, but it still feels like cozy and warm like Bottega. Sometimes Bottega and Orto now is the answer to a question like, "Oh, I want to go someplace."
Where should we go?
Yeah,
Where should we go? Go there.
And then I went to with my buddies on Monday night to Brewer's Art downstairs to get some
Always good.
good appetizers, and felt really great there. We used to go there every Monday night for years and years and years and stopped going.
Is
and
Monday
now we
night
went
a
back.
special?
No, now the new special there's mussels and a beer for $15.
I love mussels, and that's such a good setting for it. Like,
Yeah.
you kind of want mussels in, like, a beer hall.
They
kind
never
of
used to
place.
have as many mussels as they have now. They have a nice mussels menu, like 4 different mussels options. I don't remember that in the old days at Brewer's
Did you
Art.
have the fries?
No fries.
Oh, people love their fries.
Like squash on toast and a pretzel.
Yummy.
Yeah.
Toasts. I like toasts. You guys tell us if you like toasts.
With squash on toast with persimmons. It was good.
Persimmons. I tried to make some yummy persimmon stuff once because they're such a treasure that we never use. And I did like a ricotta and some drizzle of honey, but I just don't know how you're supposed to buy
me
a
neither.
ripe one or what you're supposed
Or what
to
you're
do
supposed
with
to do with it.
Yeah. Hauser says it is a surprise for his wife. We won't tell. Shh, don't tell anyone. But I'm excited to see what it is because her tastes are always the opposite of what I make, but always delicious. All right, Hauser, we're with you. We want to hear the follow-up.
I'm sorry, surprise from his wife or for his wife?
Oh, he said from.
From.
I'm sorry.
That
Sorry,
makes sense.
from. Okay. I went places.
Where'd you
What-
go?
wait, what were
I
you
was to
gonna-
John. I just said something to John.
You whispered at him?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
I said I
Did you
understood
see that,
it.
John? Oh, okay. We had a work event. Well, Glenn and company at Pressbox had a work event.
Cool.
At Citron, which I had never been to.
I've never been there.
It's a
That's
Quarry
in
Lake.
Quarry Lake, right.
It's fancy. But the pasta d'oeuvres were yum. They did some sushi. They did some little pizzas. It was good. And I finally made it to Gypsy Trucksterant. Yay!
Which is so close to where
It's
we're
right
sitting
down
right
the
now. It's right down the
street.
street
And
in the
it's
Jones
so
Falls area.
adorable,
Yeah.
because the concept is they still have the food trucks out, and that's
The
where they're
Gypsy
cooking.
Queen food truck people have opened up permanent steaks, a brick and mortar place where people can go in and go to a bar and then order from the truck, I guess.
No, you go inside.
No, but where's the truck? Where's the food being prepared?
Yeah, in the
In the
truck.
truck, right.
Yeah. They're making it in the truck, but you go inside and you sit, and it's really cute.
And you're waited on by
Like
servers.
people, yeah. The only thing, and maybe I was hallucinating, but I don't think I was, but I think I saw a cat like inside, and that just no.
Oh, I think I've seen photographs of that cat.
I don't want a cat in my inside places.
I'm okay with the cat.
I am not. I know everyone's gonna hate me now. But
No, I think a lot of people
I
feel the same
feel like
way.
I automatically start getting a hairball when I see
White
that.
people.
I also went to my regular tried and true Clark Burger because it was a Saturday afternoon.
Clark Burger's right at the Senator Theater.
Yeah, and it was a Saturday afternoon, and I tried to go into Belvedere Market just to like see what I wanted, and it was full in there.
Belvedere
Full.
Market.
There wasn't a space at any counter. I mean,
Not
full.
room for a cat.
Not even room for a cat. So I went to my tried and true Clark Burger, which never lets me down. It never fails me.
Do you have a favorite at Clark Burger?
I usually make my own because I'm a Clark Burger master, and I like a fried egg. I like some blue cheese. I like some caramelized onions.
They're definitely pumping gas. I like that you are a Clark Burger expert.
Oh, and I saw someone we both know there. I'll say it offline.
Okay.
Somebody whose last name does not match the physical attribute that she is. So, if you just got here, you're watching This Week in Baltimore Eating with Richard Corellic. Like, share, comment, and follow us at #JamorEating. Tell us about your Valentine's Day plans and favorite romantic spots that I don't really want to hear about anyway. But go ahead, tell me. All right. There's a bunch of restaurant news, but...
This place opened up the Alexander Brown restaurant in the old Alex Brown building. Were we just caught off guard?
No, because remember a few weeks ago I said to you, I think there's a new restaurant with a guy's name and it's somewhere and I think it's fancy and manly.
Man, I'm telling you that I didn't hear anything about this Alexander Brown
I think this might
restaurant.
have been the thing I was trying to ask you about.
Okay, I'll back up. A restaurant that looks pretty darn fancy.
Yeah.
Called the Alexander Brown
yes.
restaurant.
Yes.
Opened recently in the Alex Brown building downtown.
Right.
The building's born in 1901, was an investment house building, has now been completely renovated, and it has what looks like a really gorgeous restaurant. It's owned and managed by an out-of-town, I think Tampa-based company.
Like a chain company?
Well, I don't know.
Like a restaurant
chain,
group?
Yeah,
I say restaurant.
group,
I mean, I meant restaurant group.
So take a look online. We'll get there eventually, but it looks pretty
When?
darn cool, man. But I think they kind of just kept it
snuck
really
into
quiet.
town.
And I didn't...
They don't seem like they've been doing much promotions because I don't even remember the day that I saw that thing somewhere and I was like, what was that?
I didn't see anything in press about it. I mean, I might have missed it. So let me know, guys, if you covered it
but
and
if
I
you
missed
guys
it.
go, maybe that's a place to go tonight. Maybe you can get reservations.
Again, Alexander Brown Restaurant, Tiger Style, from the owners of the Food Market, open in Hamden. It's meant to be more of a carry-out and delivery place than an eat-in place, but things happen. If you're the Food Market and you're trying to quietly open a place called Tiger Style that serves kind of an American
like
take on
ramen, or?
Chinese food,
Oh, okay.
sort of like Pan-Asian with a twist, food, people are going to be beating down your door, and I think that's what happened. They were overwhelmed the first few nights. I tried to order from them on DoorDash, and they just couldn't do it. I think they may not have even opened on Sunday. They were just overwhelmed. So give them some time. Tiger Style in Hamden. We heard about a place opening in Mount Vernon in the old Night of the Cooker space on Antique Road called Bentley's, which seems to be another attempt to do a hybrid jazz club and fancy restaurant. It's I feel bad for these people because it seems completely misguided and doomed to failure.
Wow.
Everything about it seems really bad.
Really?
And the name is dumb.
The name is kind of dumb.
The name's dumb.
We hate dumb names.
I don't like that. It's like some attempt to appear fancy by naming it after
Like
a fancy car.
A car.
Bentley. It's
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
I feel bad. I feel bad saying it. I feel bad thinking it.
You're being very quick to judge this place.
I don't want it. I don't want people to open up another
Come
misguided restaurant without reaching out for.
But maybe it's not. Maybe they're
No, it
perfectly
is.
guided.
I'd bet. No, it's a dud.
But also, here's my thing about a jazz club. Like, that whole sort of that part of Baltimore used to have legitimate jazz clubs, right?
You cannot have a successful jazz club and restaurant on that block of Howard Street. It can't be done. It can't be done.
But Howard Street is trying to revitalize.
Not that block.
Okay,
because of the light rail tracks.
Richard's
Can't
not
be
into
done.
Bentleys, but if
And
you
right
guys
across from
go-
the back side of Maryland Hospital, University of Maryland Hospital, Midtown campus.
That scared me. Somebody, is it a Valentine? Was it my Valentine?
We wish them well, the Bentley's people. And you have some news before we go.
I do, but do you have anything else you need to add about anything? All right, you guys, tell us here where you're going to go tonight because we want to hear about it, and we'll talk about it next week. But so, first of all, we started a kosher wine feature that I'm super excited about. It's called the Kosher Decanter. We J More. That's where we are right now, at We J More. JMoreLiving.com. The Kosher Decanter. The first featured wine is a Rioja. Check it out. It's by my friend Kenny Friedman, who's a kosher wine connoisseur. Then second, speaking of Hauser, we had him taste test dessert hummus because we didn't want to do it.
For the magazine.
Yes.
Yep.
For the magazine. For JMoreLiving.com. Then you can watch a video about what he thought. He tried 5 different ones. Wasn't particularly excited about any of them. How do you feel about dessert hummus?
I could take him or leave him.
Have you had any?
Mhm.
And you're like, whatever.
I don't mind it's a trend. I never mind that things
I
are a
don't
trend.
mind trends, but like I don't really want to partake.
But we know people that are just mind trends.
they mind
get
them.
upset by
like
trends.
pumpkin. We've had the pumpkin
Like
conversation.
they'll hear about a trend and they'll get upset by them.
Ew, who would do dessert hummus? Blah, that shouldn't even be on the market.
Right. Like you gotta calm
Anyway, go
down.
to jmorliving.com to see both of those because we're pretty excited. And Hauser's working on another project, but I don't want to give it away yet. Don't give it away, Hauser. Let's whisper at Hauser again. Okay, so you have been watching This Week in Baltimore Eating with Richard Gorelick. For more food fun, sign up for This Week in Baltimore Eating newsletter at jmoreliving.com/newsletters. Join us next week. Oh my gosh, I'm so super excited about this. Do you remember?
We don't have the book to show.
I know. She's going to bring some. February 21, 12:30. Shelley Howell, the author of Dining Down Memory Lane.
Once again, the title, Dining Down Memory Lane.
Yes.
You said it fast.
Sorry. I did. You're right. She joins us to talk about nostalgic recipes in Baltimore, and that's what the book
book's
is.
really charming. The book is full of brief descriptions of restaurants along with known recipes from those restaurants. Sometimes the recipes are directly from the restaurant. Sometimes they're from people that tried to recreate them successfully or pretty successfully.
Yeah. So you guys think about which bygone restaurants you really wish you had the recipes for, and like chime in next week because
Yeah.
we bet they're in the book, and we're gonna tell you all about
the
it.
book's not comprehensive. It doesn't have like every recipe from every restaurant.
There's
but
two places I'm thinking of that I want her to add. We'll talk about it next week.
Oh, all right.
Tune in next time. Bye, everybody.
Hey, bye, everybody. Have a good Thanksgiving Day and a good weekend.
It's not Thanksgiving.
Did I say Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Have a good Valentine's Day. Man.